In 2024, baseball is experiencing unprecedented chaos. A Latin pop singer, once known for their musical talent, has become one of the league's top hitters, performing at games. Meanwhile, the best team in baseball has plummeted to one of the worst, plagued by internal strife and fights. Even the sport's best player is facing unusual struggles at second base. The dramatic drop in offensive performance is baffling. Some blame pitchers, others cite a mysterious pitch that's become nearly impossible to hit, while a few point to potential changes in the baseball itself. Skeptics question if the decline is even real. The offensive slump is so severe that one team hired a purple McDonald's mascot to improve their hitting, and surprisingly, it worked. In addition, Ryan Snitker was struck in the groin, an umpire stabbed a bat boy, a pitcher vomited on the mound, and a fan nearly fell onto the field but was saved by the net, ejected, and then reinstated to their seat. Despite these bizarre incidents, they are not the cause of the hitting problems. The situation has led to a dramatic increase in position players pitching during blowout games. These players, throwing at much slower speeds, are typically pummeled by opposing batters. Yet, in 2024, position players have become unexpectedly dominant on the mound. This development is turning into one of the most startling statistics of the year, highlighting the baffling nature of baseball's current offensive struggles. In the past month and a half, MLB has witnessed an extraordinary phenomenon: position players have dominated on the mound. Over a span of 1 month and 17 days, 15 position players pitched without conceding a single run. They faced 55 batters, striking out only one, yet the league managed to hit just .130 against them, with a .255 on-base percentage and a .152 slugging percentage. Remarkably, only 5 actual pitchers posted better numbers during this period. Even with the slowest fastball recorded at 85 miles per hour and Danny McKay's pitches topping out at just 60 miles per hour, position players continued their streak of shutouts, which ended on June 20th. This pitching anomaly is part of a broader offensive crisis across the league. MLB teams are on pace to score 1,200 fewer runs than last year, with 1,400 fewer hits and 800 fewer home runs. The league-wide OPS has dropped nearly 30 points from the previous season, and the batting average is tied for the lowest in MLB history. In May, the statistics fell to even more alarming levels. On-base percentage was the lowest since 1907, batting average was the lowest since 1908, and slugging was the lowest since 1980. Following his release, Lopez signed with the Chicago team and turned his career around, delivering impressive performances. Meanwhile, the Mets faced their own struggles. Star closer Edwin Diaz blew 3 consecutive saves and was replaced, and their best starter was out for the season, leaving them with only a 12% chance of making the playoffs. Just when it seemed things couldn't get worse for the Mets, the situation took a bizarre turn. Grimace, the purple McDonald's mascot, threw the first pitch at a game. The Mets scored 10 runs that night and won with a walk-off the next day. Fans began thanking Grimace for revitalizing the team's season. Edwin Diaz then secured his first save in weeks, and Grimace became a fixture in Times Square, chugging beers during rain delays and distracting opposing pitchers. The Mets won 7 games in a row, transforming their fortunes. Was it Grimace who truly saved the Mets season, or was it their surprising decision to sign a Latin pop star to play second base? Jose Iglesias, once a promising shortstop, finished second in Rookie of the Year voting and made multiple All-Star teams for his defensive skills. However, after a disappointing 2022 at the plate, he struggled to find a team and spent all of 2023 in the minors. As his baseball career seemed to be ending, Iglesias shifted to music, creating a song titled OMG that he hoped to release. Teams like the Mets epitomize this struggle. In May, they hit a dismal .232 and posted a 9-19 record, the worst in baseball despite having the highest payroll. Their struggles culminated in a dramatic incident, as the Mets neared a sweep by the Dodgers and their 19th loss in 26 games. Jorge Lopez's pitching meltdown included a pickoff attempt that struck an umpire and resulted in several runs scored against them. In a dramatic turn of events, Jorge Lopez's meltdown during a game led to his ejection and subsequent release by the Mets. Lopez, upset over a call, argued with the umpire, threw his glove into the stands, and had to be escorted off the field by his manager to prevent further outbursts. Despite his frustrations, Lopez told the media he didn't regret his actions, stating, "I play for the worst team in baseball." The Mets wasted no time cutting him from the roster. The situation grew more complicated when it was later revealed that Lopez's comment had been misinterpreted. Initially reported as him saying he played for the worst team, it was later clarified that he had meant to say he played for the worst team, a statement that was misunderstood without proper translation. Many believed he had called himself the worst teammate in baseball, which led to widespread sympathy for Lopez, particularly as it was also his son's birthday and his son was battling serious health issues. Unfortunately, the Mets had already let him go by then. Desperate for a boost, the Mets called Iglesias up in June. Seizing the opportunity, Iglesias repurposed his song as his walk-up music, and it quickly became a hit in the clubhouse. He hit over .400 with an OPS close to 1.000 in June, and the Mets embraced his success, creating t-shirts and playing the song non-stop. After beating the Astros, Iglesias performed OMG Live in a post-game concert on the field, complete with background dancers and cheers from his teammates. By that point, the Mets were 11 games behind their rivals, the Atlanta Braves. But as they entered a crucial 4-game series, they had closed the gap to just half a game behind, with a chance to surpass the Braves and secure a strong playoff position. Meanwhile, the Braves were faltering, setting up a dramatic showdown with the Mets, who were buoyed by their new musical star and a rejuvenated team spirit. The Braves, once boasting the highest team slugging percentage in history, have fallen dramatically since May, becoming one of the league's worst offenses. The team is reeling from the loss of MVP Ronald Acuña Jr., Cy Young candidate Spencer Strider, Michael Harris II, and OBL, Max Fried and Ronaldo Lopez are also injured. With such key players out, the Braves are relying on newcomers and recent cuts like Nacho Alvarez, Eddie Rosario, Whit Merrifield, and Ramon Laureano, players who either lack MLB experience or were recently deemed insufficient. Their struggles were evident in a recent game. Despite a stellar performance from Cy Young hopeful Chris Sale, the Braves faltered. In the 9th inning, with a runner on second and a chance to take the lead, Merrifield's stolen base attempt failed, ending their scoring opportunity. In the 10th inning, Laureano's confusion over a bunt led to a disastrous play where he was thrown out at home, almost provoking a fight and dashing their hopes once again. In the bottom of the 10th, the Mets appeared poised to win, but Pierce Johnson struck out J.D. Davis, keeping their hopes alive. In a dramatic turn of events, the Braves suffered a devastating loss when Ramon Laureano, in a crucial moment, overran a fly ball, allowing the Mets to win the game. Despite having only one out remaining, Braves pitcher Pierce Johnson had struck out Mark Vientos and was poised to escape the jam. However, Laureano's misplay led to a Mets victory, marking one of the most painful losses possible for Atlanta. This setback was compounded the next day when the Braves gave up 7 runs in a single inning, blowing a lead and falling behind the Mets in the playoff standings. On June 11, the Braves were 11 games under .500 and 15.5 games back from first place. But since Grimace's appearance, the Mets have experienced a remarkable turnaround. They now boast the second-best offense in baseball and hold the league's best record. Their playoff chances soared from 12% to 60% with their ace, Kodai Senga, returning from injury. Against all odds, the Mets surpassed the Braves in overall record. However, their fortunes took another hit as Senga was injured again and ruled out for the season. The Braves took advantage, shutting out the Mets and then crushing them 13-2 the next day, causing the Mets' playoff odds to plummet by 15% in less than 48 hours. The Mets found themselves trailing the Braves once more. Meanwhile, in the broader league, the Phillies lead comfortably, the Nationals are out of contention, and the Marlins, having traded away their players, now field one of the worst offenses in baseball. The league-wide offensive downturn has led to speculation about the ball's role, with some suggesting MLB has altered its composition. However, there is no clear evidence of decreased drag efficiency, indicating that the ball itself may not be the problem. Instead, the resurgence of the splitter pitch might be a significant factor. After years of pitchers avoiding splitters due to concerns over arm health, their usage has doubled in the past 8 seasons. In 2016, only 44 pitchers threw splitters. This season, 92 are employing the pitch, which could be contributing to the decline in offensive production. To simplify your ticket buying, download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code BDE for $20 off your first purchase. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Redeem code BDE for $20 off now. Back to Paul SK, his splitter is a game changer. It's an exceptional blend of movement and deception that outshines even the most effective splitters in the league. Paul S.K.'s spinker, a unique blend of a splitter and sinker, has catapulted him to the top of MLB. He struck out the highest rate of prospects in baseball this spring and started the season in the minors, where he gave up just one run over his first 4 starts. He struck out 57% of the batters he faced and was responsible for 124 of the 125 fastest pitches in AAA. For the first month of the season, it was not far-fetched to consider that the best pitcher on earth was in the minors. In May, SK was promoted and quickly became a sensation, partly due to his dominance over major league hitters and his high-profile relationship with a famous girlfriend. His performance was exceptional, and he rolled through May without facing significant challenges. His first major test came against Shohei Ohtani and the stacked Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers, who had inked over $1 billion in contracts this offseason, boasted the most expensive team in MLB history and arguably the most powerful lineup. However, their season was marred by injuries. Max Muncy went down in May, Mookie Betts fractured his hand in June, and Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May, Walker Buehler, and Tony Gonsolin were sidelined. In June, superstar Yoshinobu Yamamoto also suffered a peculiar rotator cuff injury after his $700 million signing. In the very first inning of the All-Star game, Judge came to bat while SK took the mound. On the very first pitch, Judge grounded out, which was a rather anticlimactic moment given the hype. Despite this, the Yankees' season has been anything but dull. The Yankees, who started the season hotter than anyone in baseball, have had a roller coaster year. They made headlines with fights against the Rays, Orioles, and Red Sox, and traded for Juan Soto in a move signaling their World Series aspirations. Aaron Judge's season, however, started poorly. He faced boos at his own stadium and even on his bobblehead day. Despite these early struggles, the Yankees managed to hold the best record in baseball as of early May. Judge, however, turned his season around dramatically. Since May, Judge has led the league in home runs, RBIs, batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, and WAR. His teammate, Juan Soto, also ranked highly in many offensive categories, making the Yankees a formidable force when Garrett Cole returned from injury in June. Up to this point, Ohtani had never faced Paul S.K., the rookie sensation with an extraordinary spinker pitch, a blend of a splitter and sinker. In June, the two finally matched up, and the anticipation was high. SK didn't disappoint. He threw a fastball past Ohtani, then struck him out with 2 more fastballs, all without Ohtani making contact. This display of dominance was impressive, but Ohtani seemed to take it personally. A few innings later, Ohtani came to bat and made SK pay. On a 3-2 count, Ohtani hammered a fastball from SK straight to center field for a home run, the ball flying out of the park. To this day, those 3 runs are the most SK has allowed in a single game in his entire career. As the All-Star break approached, SK was ranked second in the NL in strikeouts, runs allowed, and K percentage. His stellar performance earned him a spot in the All-Star game, where he was chosen to start, a rare honor for a rookie. SK became only the 5th rookie in history to start an All-Star game. Fans eagerly anticipated a matchup between SK and Aaron Judge, the league's best hitter. Hitters are struggling to adjust to the resurgence of the splitter pitch, which has become more effective than fastballs, sliders, sweepers, curveballs, changeups, and other pitches this season. With the league collectively posting a .517 OPS against splitters, these pitches have proven remarkably effective. Prominent pitchers like Zach Wheeler, Hunter Greene, Jordan Hicks, and Bryce Miller have recently added splitters to their arsenals. Yon Duran, Jeremy Estrada, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto have gained recognition for their devastating splitters, but none compare to Paul S.K.'s exceptional splitter. Before diving into Paul S.K.'s dominance, a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Time. This summer, with so many baseball games and other events, Game Time is the app you need for finding great deals. If you're attending a game or any other event and not using Game Time, you're missing out. I used Game Time this week to snag last-minute tickets to a game in Baltimore at a fraction of the price, thanks to their incredible last-minute deals that offer up to 60% off. Game Time isn't just for sports, it covers concerts, comedy, theater, the orchestra, opera, and nearly anything else you can imagine. You can view your seat directly from the app and benefit from zone deals, flash deals, and the lowest ticket prices available. Plus, if you find a cheaper ticket elsewhere, Game Time's price match guarantee ensures you get the best deal. The Yankees' fortunes took a sharp turn, though. Despite having the best record in baseball, they fell into a slump, becoming one of the league's worst teams. Their rivals, the Boston Red Sox, got hot during this period. By early June, the Yankees' playoff chances had dipped to just 10%. However, a turnaround began when the Yankees won 12 of their next 16 games, heading into a critical series against the Yankees with a 5.5-game lead over the Red Sox. The series was set to be a pitcher's duel, with both teams vying for dominance in a tightly contested division. Despite the injuries and mounting pressure, Shohei Ohtani delivered another historic season. By July, Ohtani had accumulated more WAR, wins above replacement, than any designated hitter in history, was on pace for the highest OPS plus for a DH ever, and had already stolen more bases in a year than any DH before him. As of July, Shohei Ohtani is on pace to achieve an astonishing 9.17 WAR, wins above replacement, which would shatter the record for WAR by a designated hitter. He currently leads the league in home runs, runs scored, batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS. Ohtani is also on track for 41 steals, positioning himself to become only the sixth player in history to achieve 40 home runs and 40 steals in a single season. Notably, he would be the only DH to reach this milestone without the ability to pitch or play the field due to injury. Initially, Ohtani's MVP chances were considered slim, as no DH had come close to such a feat before. However, he is now having what might be the greatest season for a DH in baseball history.